Greetings, souls. Man, I got another one for you. Now, this particular installment, I wanted to talk about it's something I want to talk about for a while. I'm a avid basketball fan and stuff like that. I've been playing basketball since I had the ability to walk. I haven't played in years. I'm getting older now, so I don't play as much as I used to. But I'm always will still be a fan of the game. And I haven't really watched the National Basketball Association really seriously since what 2000 and maybe 12 or 16 maybe, because the game has changed so much, and I'm very much an old school fundamentalist when it comes to the sport of basketball. I have a I have a real soft spot for the big man position, and it sometimes it just gets on my nerves. Sometimes when you see how big men play today, saying like I understand that the way the game is, it's fast paced. You got to space the floor and stuff like that. You see big men, out there shooting threes and all this other stuff. So I mean, like I said, I like seeing like big guys like Jokic who can really handle the ball. Like my favorite ability about him is just his ability to distribute the floor and see stuff like that. So regardless of what the National Basketball Association, goes through, what type of changes, what I'm saying, I would always be a fan of the sport. So, and as you can see right here, I'm not playing, but this is I'm gonna react to a buddy of mine by the name of Fox Turner. He's a brother that I grew up with. He's a couple of years older than me. So, I've known this guy since I was 11 years old, roughly 11 years old, man. And when I first met him, he he's not what you would call a guy who had a skill set on the offensive end. And same thing could be said for me on the defensive end. When I was a kid, around that age, I had no left hand. I was merely a shooter. And it took me a while to up on my ball handling. And I met a good friend and I won't say, I won't name drop anything, but I met a good friend, and he was originally from New York. He was from the Bronx, right across the river from where I live now. I'm up here in Uptown Manhattan, but he was from the Bronx, and his family moved down to Virginia, where I'm originally from. And he, being a New Yorker, he was all about ball handling. So he worked with me on my ball handling and stuff like that, and I became a better ball handler, working on my left and stuff like that. And then as I got older, my ability to drive to the basket got better. But my buddy Fox Turner here, he was a defensive maestro. Us playing 2-on-2s, just on the blacktop in front of my house. I had a basketball court in front of my house where I grew up. He had one in his backyard, but we predominantly played on mine and other kids in the neighborhood, and we would just do 2-on-2s, and we were really successful. What I'm saying? Our game really complemented each other. And over the years, I got better on the defensive end. He got better on the offensive end. And then we would go to the local blacktop in the park, Rockwood Park. Anybody who's from the 804 Virginia area, Chesterfield County, Richmond, Virginia, anybody who grew up in the area knows Rockwood Park. And that was like our home court. Apart from playing in front of my house, we would go to Rockwood and play against all the guys there. But I just wanted to react to this video because like I said, he plays 2K much more than I do in terms of competitively as he's playing in the rec right here. And every now and again I'll tap out and I'll come back in, and this is 2K24, and I came back after taking a year break. And the two builds that I predominantly make, I always make like a center, because a center is probably the least favorite build out of most people. Most people don't visualize themselves playing like a big, and I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'11", but I've always, like I said, my favorite basketball player, growing up at a young age, and soundboard going crazy. But my favorite ball player growing up, particularly as I came of age, was Paul Pierce. And I'm a Celtic fan, and I've been a Celtic fan since the the early '90s. I grew up watching like D Brown, Dino Raja, and Montrose, and Rick Fox when he was on the team, guys like that. And I started watching the Celtics when they were in their dark years. They really weren't, you know, that good of a team. And hold up, over here I'm just messing with stuff. And but yeah, like I said, I'm rambling, man. I just, but my boy Fox, he is pretty much talking about the negativity and the toxicity of you know players on the in the 2K community, man. It's just it's a lot like how it is in reality. People are just very selfish, and all they want to do is score. They only see one side of the floor. So this is just a quick video of, because like I said, I've told Fox I wanted to jump on a video like this with him, but he always kind of like throws these videos out here. So I told him I was going to react to it, and I'll make sure I shout him out, and I'll put his name in the description so y'all can subscribe to his channel and all that stuff. He just made the 200 mark, and congratulations to him. Hopefully I can get there one day. But yeah, man, he just talking about it, and I'm just gonna react to it. So let me shut up and stop rambling like I normally do. Here you go.
Everything is around the person that got the high points. No. Guy right now in the game I just played and I just streamed on this channel got me so frustrated because he thought he was the reason we won the game because he's got the most points. But let me tell you something right now. You shot the most. You know what I'm saying? You shot the most on the team. Games I shoot 17 times, I'm efficient, I'm going for points. It's been done on this stream before. My stat line. I got a game I dropped 20 something. I don't even think I shot over 10 shots, maybe 12 or maybe 13. Something like that. It was still efficient. I had 20. It wasn't a whole bunch of shots. Rarely do I shoot that many shots. Over 15 shots in a game. Another thing is, points ain't everything. It's not the end all be all.
And Fox, you would be right, sir. Points aren't everything. I mean, obviously you can't win the game without scoring points, but in a game like 2K, like what a lot of people will do, they would just look at the stat sheet and say, oh, depending on what the stat sheet says, in their mind it determines what you did, and what you didn't do. And the one thing that I always complain to, Fox about is that there's a lot of sacrifices that players make that don't always show up on the stat sheet. When it, like they call them, we call them the glue guys who make all the sacrifices. They'll guard anybody, diving on the floor for loose balls to create second chance opportunities and stuff like that. So it's, for me, doesn't matter if it's in a virtual world or in the real world, man. Like, there's a lot of contributions that you could bring to a team unit that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. When it comes to having a solid foundation on the defensive end, causing the opposition to take bad shots, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Great court vision, making the extra pass, that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. Spacing the floor, controlling the tempo of the game, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. IQ really doesn't show up on the stat sheet either, stuff like that. So it's just, that's the frustration that I have with a lot of people. And this was something that Fox and I dealt with all of our years playing on the blacktop, and now in the virtual world, we're going through the same thing.
You don't win that game without the defensive stops I had at the end. I had one defensive stop, threw the ball up, guy passed it to the other guy, the guy passed it to the guy that was complaining, and he scored. You don't get that key stop right there and change the momentum without me playing defense. Defense is what wins. You couldn't stop your man. Your man had the most points on their team. That's why the person felt like they had to have the need to shoot back. You know what I'm saying? To try to score back on them. Because that's that mentality. I'm getting dropped off, I got to score back. Rightfully so. I'm here to say, and it needs to stop. Like, points ain't the end all be all. You know why I'm going to tell you this? I came in random right? And I've been scoring. I came out and I went 4 for 4, 5 for 5, something like that, something crazy. I might only miss 2 shots. I had like 15, 16, 17 points. And I'm getting told I don't pass. And I'm looking to pass a little bit. And I'm getting open shots. Like I'm getting left open. They throw me the ball, or I dribble when I get open. I got an open shot. Or I dribble and I get past them. I got to dunk. So it's like the damn you do, damn I don't. And I'm scoring, and I keep saying he don't pass the ball. And I'm scoring, and I haven't missed. But this game, I'm struggling a little bit because I like to score in 5-out sets. I like to drive to the hole and score the ball, or make a play out of that.
Now, beside of playing the center position, I have two builds. The first is a center position. I forget the name. I think it's like an inside the arc threat. I forget what these archetype names are because they've gone crazy with them now. I mean, they're so intricate the way that they name them. And then my second build is a point guard. Now, my point guards, they're always built around distributing the ball. The stat that I focus on the most, the attribute that I focus on the most at the point guard position is pass accuracy, court vision. That is my number one thing. Like, I mean, just like Fox said, like, I'm really not looking to score when I'm playing point guard because I know there are 4 other people on the team that's looking to do the exact same thing. So, I mean, times where I play, with our little crew, the guys that I play with, I mean, I'll go games where I have no points. I have 0 points, but I have like roughly over between 12 to like 15 assists, couple of steals, and I try to limit my turnovers, but like playing the record so hard because when it comes to the frequency of turnovers, because a lot of people just be mashing the steal button, just try to cut off the passing lane. And from what Fox told me early on, it was very OP, and they kind of toned it down and patched it or whatever. Like I said, he keeps up more with the updates and what they nerf and what they buff and all that stuff. So he, knows more about that stuff than I do. I'm kind of more occasionally play. Like he plays, like I said, he plays more than me. So I keep up to date through him. But like I said, I'm not looking to score. Like I said, I'll score when I need to. Like my game, when it comes to the offense, if I'm playing a point guard position, I'll try to get the occasional floater in, or I'll shoot the open shot if I'm open. But most of the time, I just try to move the ball around and get everybody involved. Because if you get everybody involved, that's the more successful you'll be. I mean, look at someone like a LeBron James. Like, that man is phenomenal. And that's probably like I said, when it comes to any basketball player, like, their ability to distribute the ball is my favorite attribute. You have people like a Magic Johnson, like I say, even though Paul Pierce was my favorite, but I also love, people like Jason Kidd and a Chris Paul and LeBron too, like guys who can distribute the ball and make people and elevate people around them. Like me being an offensive guy when I first started out, I patterned my game after people like Paul Pierce, like Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant, people like that. But I've always revered people like Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is one of my all-time favorite players. He's one of my top 10 favorite players because of what he was able to do, mainly in his New Jersey Net years. It's just what he did, taking that team to the finals, even though they didn't win. But it was amazing just to see him create that type of atmosphere and turn that team into a contender. It was phenomenal to see.
From that, or make another play while I shoot a jumper. Just the way I like to play. I score better with a little bit more, not the paint not being so cluttered. That team I was playing on right there, the paint was cluttered, so I would go up with these inside takes and I'd miss a couple. So the guy wanted to be a little, oh, you trash. The normal, you trash. The normal that everybody says on NBA 2K. And with trash mean you're not good, you bad at the game. That's what it means with the people that don't play 2K. I don't know what that saying is. That's the first line you're going to hear. All I got to say is, it just ruins, like, I don't want to play the game. It's crazy. It just makes you don't want to play the game. Because when you go in random wreck, it's always somebody got something to say. We won that game. Hey, I had to be like, yo, stop. I was in the middle of the game, like, yo, stop arguing. We're winning the game. Now we winning the game. Hey, we winning. What you want to argue for now? We up. Why, go argue with your girlfriend. Why you argue with me? Your girlfriend, whoever you deal with. Go argue with them. I'm rambling now. Point of this video, I feel like they gotta do something better. I hope there's a way for it to not be all about points because everybody in their mind thinks it's all about points. Instead of getting the team win as a team with the defense and everybody playing together, and whoever get the higher the points, get the higher the points. If you got an offensive build on your team or something like that, whatever. But this is random rec. We're all just thrown in here with some random builds. It's not all about points, that's all I'm trying to say. Peace.
Very brief as you hear. Like I said, Fox is right. I mean, for some people, it doesn't matter how much you contribute to a team. It's just somebody always has an excuse. I mean, you could win the game by 50, but a lot of people are so selfish is that if they look at the stat sheet and they say, well, I don't have the amount of points that I want, or the amount of assists or whatever, or my field goal percentage or my 3-point percentage is not where I want it to be. They will look at an individual performance, good or bad, and make a determination that way. Depending on it doesn't matter how successful the team is as a whole. We can win, but if they don't perform the way that they want to, they be like, oh, it was everybody else's fault. And this that's kind of what keeps me away from playing 2K as much as I would like to, because I do love basketball, and unfortunately, 2K has a monopoly on the NBA franchise, and no other company can develop their own basketball. Well, they can, but it just can't be licensed by the National Basketball Association, which sucks. That's one thing I do not like about modern gaming. These companies, monopolizing and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, man, it's just everything that he said it was spot on, and it's very commonplace. And this is something that's always irked me even ever since I started really playing basketball competitively on the blacktop and organized ball for the very little experience I had playing organized ball. But it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the larger scale in which you play. It doesn't matter if it's rec. It doesn't matter if it's blacktop. It doesn't matter if it's high school, college, the pros. It doesn't matter. The fundamentals never change. The name of the game will always be, put the basketball in the hoop, who scores the most points in terms of winning. But basically what Fox is saying, in order to, score more than the opposite team, you have to show up on the defensive end as well. You have to get people involved. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just very tunnel vision when it comes to the sport. It's all about, them and how they perform. So, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to throw my 31 cents in there and just react to a dear friend of mine who was very passionate about playing the game and all this stuff. But yeah, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one, and as always,